What map is it, Songers?
This map is Deralict Launcher. The matchup is PBT, spawning in the top right-hand corner as the Blue Terran. He is down 1 game, but he should be able to bounce back. It is Moosy.
Never ever corner a moose. They are a very difficult animal to handle. And in the bottom left-hand corner, up 1-0 in this best of 3. If he wins this, he continues along the winner's bracket to face Massa later on. He is the orange Protoss representing Infinity 7. It is TubbytheFat. I do want to make a quick mention, guys. We're not using GameHeart for this map because we didn't realize there was no GameHeart version of this map. But I think it's the only one in our map pool that doesn't have a GameHeart.
You're probably right. We tried.
Yeah. So
I mean,
we'll see.
no, there's another version of the game part as well. I think it's Nuclear Precinct. It's an older version, so we have to use the regular Blizzard map for that.
Right.
But for the other ones, you guys will be able to see the awesome game part overlay, which is made by Ryan. Ryan's last name is...
I don't remember, actually. I just know it's Ryan. I've only called him Ryan. When was the last time you met someone and you called them by their last name? I call you Songers because I know you.
Yeah,
but
I don't know. We'll see.
Do you even know my last name, bro?
It's Boopy Boopity.
Oh, you don't know my last name?
Of course I know your last name.
What is
Richie.
it? Oh, it took you a while. You bought time.
No.
You basically, it's like your build order. You had to buy time before my army arrived.
Whatever.
So, what is the build happening for these players? It looks pretty standard so far. Nothing out of the ordinary. Moosy is going for that that barracks at the top of his ramp just to block off that area. What's up?
I just want to say, guys, yeah, do some hashtags. TubbytheFat, Tubby the Moosy. Yep. What is his lead?
Hashtag ICY CUP. Hashtag Tubby the colorblind. Make sure that people know. I saw someone in chat saying that we're at like 700 people and that we want to get to 1,000. I think that's totally doable. I think there are 1,000 people who like StarCraft and we just need to find them.
Yeah, exactly. So right now we see a gasless expand coming out from Moosy. That's exactly what he's going to go for. A little different from the last game. He's going to be getting his SCV into position there. 400 minerals and down goes that CC, but a probe does go in. He notices it, but really, what can Protoss do? If Protoss is not going for, and you can already see, not going for a Nexus first, he's still going to be a little bit behind because he went for the Cyber Core and the Gateway first.
Yeah, we'll see what he decides to do if he decides to maybe just try to bust this, go for a little all-in and say, maybe I can finish it before this gets into mid or late game, but we'll see what TubbytheFat decides to do after the Cyber Core does come down. The Gateway, the key to all that is the Protoss army. We'll see what he decides to do. There's the Warp Tech with the Stalker. That CC is halfway done for our Terran player producing Marines. Going to put them at that natural ramp. Going to try to fortify that. Going to have to spend a little bit of time defending before he can get anything going.
We'll see, yeah, exactly. Getting that bunker at the front, he's going to need that. Doesn't want his Marines to be picked off by the micro of that Stalker there. So one Marine, another one being produced. Some extra barracks should be coming down very soon. You can see one in the base of Moosy. So he's going to have a pretty solid defense at the front. SCV still walking around the map, and look at this.
Oh, is this going to be sneaky DT play?
Could be DTs again, but I feel like this time he might be going for some Stargate.
Oh, that'd be interesting. Stargate Proxy Oracle would be quite powerful. It would be a little bit slower than if he just went directly for that, but we'll see. He does need more gas to support this, so...
Wait a second, what is that?
What? What are you pointing at?
Look at what I have highlighted.
4 gates. I've heard of this. I've heard of this build before.
It's going to be a robo
A proxy robo 4 gate is not something I've heard of before.
No, but it will happen.
So he is changing it up.
Remember, if it's not scouted, some immortals are going to be on the map. Terran's going to be scouting and saying, there's nothing in your base. It's just a 4 gate. I can easily defend this with like 2 bunkers. But when you mix some immortals into the mix, those bunkers are going to be made out of paper.
Indeed, but you gotta expect that Moosy knows to count the pylons. He knows that Protoss, if they are doing some sort of proxy play or sneaky play, it's always that 3rd pylon. I mean, sometimes if you're being really aggressive, it's the 2nd pylon, but in most cases, it's the 3rd. So Moosy, if he does scan the base or does scout it at all, he's probably gonna say to himself, your 3rd is doing something proxy-wise, and I'm gonna catch it.
Yeah, so here comes the probe in the front. They're actually gonna go up the ramp over here to make a
4 gate with...
Oh my goodness, Tubby is just not telling us what he's doing. I thought it was going to be a robo bus, but then again, when you think about it, that is pretty far for an immortal. So 4 gate warp gate into the base. They're probably going to try to block the ramp with a force field.
Indeed, and we'll see how effective this is. I mean, just before this game, we asked Moosy what he wanted for barbecue, and he said a burger, and then we said, okay, we'll wait, and he said, give me 10 minutes. So I think he knew he wanted to do this build. He knows that it's a powerful build. We'll see exactly what he decides to do, and here comes the Warp Prism. It probably has the 4 units in tow. Yes, it does. It has 2 Stalkers, 1 Zealot, 1 Sentry to block off the force field. I think you need 8 Sentries to internally block it off, but Moosy is ready for it. He's bringing all his Marines in here. He won't be able to get force field out of his base, but these Marines have to be careful. So SCVs are being pulled off to the line. Zealot's gonna have a great time slicing through them, but even they will be taken down eventually by the drilling cost of these SCVs, but this is gonna be huge economical damage. He can afford to lose some of them simply because he has the 2 CCs and 6 workers have been killed, but TubbytheFat needs to keep his units alive. He can't just lose them cheaply. He's staking it all on this. He has not got any sort of expo.
Nice micro there with the stalker, picking him up in the warp prism, saving them from any certain depth there. And more zealots being warped, zealots just so cost effective against these SCVs and the Marines. I mean, they're losing their numbers, but the warp prism's still alive. Picks up the stalker and goes. Look at that, 13 workers killed.
13 workers killed, but what is the worker difference now? TubbytheFat still is stuck on 1. He has made the worker count even, but with 2 orbitals, the Terran can still pull ahead. The Terran is never out if he loses SCVs. He can always produce 4 on command with just energy.
Yeah, so right now picking up a couple more stalkers, still trying to make things happen over here. And we see in terms of Tubby and production, there's nothing to do. He seems to be going very all in on this this attacker here, just sitting on those 20 probes. Stalker's trying to do damage. He has denied this expansion for a bit, but there goes the Marines coming down, trying to snipe that warp prism. When he gets that warp prism, it's going to be pretty much, the rest is going to be over.
This is very good play coming up by Tubby. He's being very good at microwaving his units, picking them up in that warp prism, and also using that warp prism for visibility of the high ground. Moosy has to jettison this base, realizes that it is under siege, under fire. These stalkers will take it down. If he does not remove it, it will start flame soon. He needs to get out of vision, but it's not going to leave vision because of the high ground afforded by that warp prism. There it is on fire, and Moosy now has to even repair it. He has to take even more time away from mining.
That means these units, without the stim, they're still pretty much even matched for this gateway force that's coming in. The numbers are getting pretty huge there. There comes the warp in. He has the zealots. I feel like he wants to drop the zealots on the Terran army so he cannot kite it back anymore. But there goes the reactor, and once the reactor goes down, less Marine production. So this is great for Moosy, but stim is done, and Moosy is powering forward again.
Moosy is now shooting with his Gauss rifles and his grenade launchers trying to end this army, but it looks like this army is going to be very hard pressed to remove. There's enough stalkers in the back, although they're not very good in a fight. Now that the zealot wall has been breached, and there's the bunker down, so he'll get a little bit extra range, but his units are getting sniped down very hard. Only 4 stalkers remain, and again, TubbytheFat is going all in at this point. If Moosy could just hold and stabilize, he could find himself in a decent position at the other end of this. Nothing but Marauders and Widow Mines, and now with the Widow Mine, surely Moosy should be able to defend easily after this point.
Yeah, so that Widow Mine there, any unit that goes in, the Zealot will be taken out, so at least that's 1 unit gone, and with the splash damage, it's going to be huge. So here he goes, rushing in. Widow Mine actually blows up on the warp prism, so sick play there, and it looks like GG.
Game number 2 goes to TubbytheFat, which means TubbytheFat moves forward to meet Moosy in the second round.
Massa?
Sorry, Massa, and Moosy goes on to face 1 trick